Aloha Soul Family, Soul Ohana, Kapualani here. We've got your timeless message for the week or whenever it is that you happen to be seeing this. So I'm going to open up space as I do by chiming my tuning fork 3 times. During this kind of moment of opening with the tuning, I invite you to focus on your breath, focus on your goals, your intentions, whatever goals, intentions you may have in the here and now. As you inhale and as you exhale, just releasing anything and everything that does not serve your highest, greatest good and path. All right, so let's begin. All right, so I haven't exactly done this before, but what I mean to say is like just the downloads that I'm getting initially before diving into the cards. But I'm hearing the words burn out, burn off, burn out. Um, if you're feeling a little bit of feeling burnt out at all, maybe there's something that's going to come through here. We'll see. I mean, the cards could just take us in a totally different direction. Spirit could take us in a totally different direction. But when I speak about burn off, technically we're still in the shadow phase of like Mercury going direct, Venus going direct, or stationing direct, I should say, in their transits, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, I'm not an astrologer, obviously. So take it slow. Be meaningful with your goals and intentions. But just understand that as we continue to move and cycle out of that whole retrograde phase of things, things will be getting lighter and lighter. Okay, so if it feels like, I almost get this feeling of some ups and downs and so forth in the energies and in the flow of just your day to day. So it could seem like things are going, okay, it's smooth, and then, just that kind of thing. It's softening and it's clearing is what I'm getting. So if you're experiencing any of that, just hang in there, okay? But nevertheless, let's tune into the cards. Let's get our message for this moment in time. And by the way, sorry about my little ugly bandage there. Had obviously a little bit of an oops moment, but let's see. So Spirit, what do we need to know? What is the core message or theme for us at this time? Thank you, Spirit. And just focusing on your goals, your intentions as I shuffle. Okay. And by the way, to my subscribers, thank you so much for being here and for continuing to show up. I deeply appreciate you. If you've not subscribed and this is the first time that you're watching it, if any of this resonates, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. And I want to also let you know that there is a part 2 to this reading, okay? So we've got the 8 of Wands here. Kind of want to take a peek at this one since it was sort of standing out. I don't normally do that, but we're going to do that this time. So 8 of Wands, yeah, expediency, things moving forward, things moving swiftly, things falling into place, being aware of the energies that are surrounding you. And I almost want to say it's not just a matter of going with the flow, but it's being observant of it. I'm, being reminded of like, okay, so I'm not a surfer, but I understand, or even like a fisher person. But when you surf, a lot of times when you see surfers, aside from just looking at things online, but in the natural sense of it, you're watching the tides coming in and you're watching the sets as they break. And it takes a minute. You're not just going out there and be like, okay, I'm going to go paddle out. You want to see where the best entry point is and where the water might be choppy or not serving you, blah, blah, blah. It might be working against you. So that's kind of the vibe and the message that I'm getting when we see this 8 of Wands. It's sort of saying like, now isn't really the time to go against the grain. I mean, maybe in some cases it may seem that way. And, I don't want to discourage anyone who feels like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go against it. But no, in this case, you see, these are energies coming together. And so another message offshot, if you have felt that your energies have been scattered lately, or you just haven't really known where to focus your intentions, where to focus your actions or your steps, heart center. Start from within. Go to heart center in every which way. Put those intentions out there, put those goals out there, and just say, okay, Spirit, like, I don't know exactly where to put my focus right now, so I'm just going to call it into my heart and trust that. And let your heart guide your actions is a lot of what I'm getting as well. There's something here also that I'm picking up on. I'm hearing activation point. So that might be part of it. Maybe you're waiting for your activation point. Maybe that's what's going to be transpiring in this next few days or weeks or whatever it is. But there's an activation point of some kind that is being generated, that's going to be getting things going. Again, I'm just being reminded about how the Eight of Wands speaks to swiftness, things moving swiftly, things falling into place step by step. And so, that's where it's like, let the path guide you. Let the path guide you. Trust your heart. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Okay, we've got death, transformation for sure. And rebirth, we got this phoenix rising here. Scorpio energy showing up with this death card. So there is still, like I said, that burn off, a transition that we're moving through. But this is giving me vibes that it's going to go very quickly. Okay, before you know it, it's things you're going to be in the clear. You're going to be in this space to really, again, the word transform. And I don't know why, but I'm hearing like, this could be nothing, but I'm hearing multiply. Something is being multiplied, whether it's your time or let's just say sales. I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing, things are going to be moving very quickly. This transformational process, whatever feels like it's been stuck, or again, where you've even felt burnt out, that's going to be passing. We're going to be transmuting all of that. And let's even just take a moment right now to connect, breathing in through the nose, deeply closing your eyes, and just picture in your mind's eye anything that you might be struggling with right now. Even if you can't exactly picture it, just the feeling of whatever it is that's going on that may not be the way that you want to feel right now. Just close your eyes again, breathe deeply in through the nose, call in that transmutation energy from the sun, just burning off all of that resistance or what does not serve your highest, greatest good. Anything that is not working, that may be feeling as though it's antithetical to where you would like to be. And as you exhale, okay, releasing with a ha or a sigh or just a power breath out, we're pushing out any of that resistance, pushing out any of that discord or distortion. Okay, only that which is meant to be released, that which is meant to be received here and now in alignment with your highest timeline, your highest, greatest good, your highest, greatest path, honoring that of everyone around you. Okay, so we want to be clear in that intention, because sometimes we think that, we want to get out of a pain point, right? Like anything to get me out of this pain point. But we're not always present to building up and out of that. We just kind of want to hop out of that, right? Even if it means we get just sucked right back in, right? And so part of it I'm hearing is commitment to the journey as well. And that in and of itself is a transformation, right? So we're shedding one layer of being, aspects of ourselves, and we're in this position to metamorphosis in a certain way, right? We're transforming. We're going to be rising like the phoenix out of the ashes. So there's a burn off that's coming through in terms of what's not working, in terms of who you used to be and the habits and the patterns that built up to what, to where you are now. Not that any of it was wrong, but now you might be ready for something more. Now you might be ready for something bigger, something better, or, in whatever which way you want to phrase that, more peace and calm. It doesn't have to necessarily be bigger and better, but just whatever the symbology of those words might mean for you. Okay? So Spirit, what do we need to know? What is in terms of following up with those messages, Spirit, what's some guidance? What's an action that we can take, that we are taking? What are we doing right now, Spirit? What is the action that's going to resonate and align with us best and most in the here and now. Align with the highest, our highest. Thank you. So the action, temperance, yeah. So this is Sagittarius energy. So with the temperance energy, we've got Archangel Michael watching over us. So this is about divine guidance, divine protection, staying focused on your goals, okay? Not rushing through things, but not dragging it out either. There's an alchemy and an integration that's happening here. There is a transitional sort of phase that we're going through, a divine transition that's occurring, something that's bigger than us, something that's likely, with these readings, it is a collective energy that we focus on that hopefully has a core meaning for you on a personal level, right? And so in seeing this temperance energy, the sun and the moon, right? The moon and the sun, the setting sun, rising sun, whatever it is. But also again with this death energy. So there's this element again and this theme of transitions, this theme of building things up over time. Like I was saying, with temperance, we really want to stay focused on what it is that we're doing and the goals that we have for ourselves, and just kind of staying self-disciplined about things over a period of time, if that's what it's going to take, right? We don't want to lose sight of the details or the bigger picture. It's that fine line, that fine balance, right? And so we want to sort of elevate consciousness here. And I'm being drawn to that heart center, which I feel like there's something about the actions that we're implementing. Okay. It's about the quality of what it is that you're doing, not just the quantity, not just getting something done. Like I said earlier, thank you, Spirit. When we want to get out of a pain point or when we want to move to something better, we just want it to happen now, right? And that's where it's, surrendering to your higher self, your higher power, and saying, you know what, now is right now. And it's not about impatience. It's about everything that I do is leading me up to that inevitable goal, that inevitable dream, that inevitable future. And it's about staying focused in the way of why am I doing what I'm doing when I lose sight of that why. Right? What is the bigger picture goal here that we're working toward? Okay. Again, the theme of transitions that's happening. We're not just taking an action for the sake of doing it. How does that action make us feel? Right? What are we feeling and what action do I need to take to either maintain and sustain a certain level of that goodness, right? Or to shift in whatever which way makes sense for me right now. Okay, so what is the message with temperance from Archangel Michael here? Where can we continue to place our focus? What is sort of the guiding message here? So we've got this one came out first with the Seven of Swords. So that's that deception energy and not really being able to see our own potential even. So it's about not taking the moment for granted and paying attention to your thoughts as well. Are your actions and your thoughts lining up, or are they going in different directions? Okay. With the Seven of Swords, it's always about something hidden or unseen or that we may not be completely aware of. Okay, whether it's details, information. Again, looking in the mirror. What I like about this particular version of the Seven of Swords is that we've got this powerful, gorgeous stag, right? That's in the sort of the reality. In the reflection, the stag just sees itself as a young buck, I guess is what it would be, or young, you know what I'm saying? A younger, just kind of not quite, there's no horns, or the horns, excuse me, the antlers. So it's like a child, right? So we're often operating from the mindset of our wounds, for example, right? Or from our childlike selves. And meanwhile, we're not children, like literally physically, right? Yes, on an eternal kind of divine level, we are all children of the divine, but I think you get what I'm saying here. And so part of what Spirit is saying is you're working on recovering, repairing, reclaiming that sense of self. You may not be seeing. It's not just potential that you have, but it's that ability. The potential is only hidden because you're not acting on it. You're not activating it activation point, right? That activation point. Additionally, yes, there may be something that we're developing that we can't quite see yet. It doesn't mean you can't believe in it. It doesn't mean that it's not underway. There may be certain details that you missed out on, or certain things that you were not able to complete, certain steps you were not able to take recently, maybe because of all the retrograde stuff that was happening. Like, for example, and during those retrogrades, right, like especially with Mercury, it's like, oh, don't sign new contracts, don't get a new haircut during the Venus retrograde, especially if it's a style that you've never done before, you've never tried before, so you put it off. Now's that time where you may be going back to do those things. So think about what you were not quite able to accomplish in the last 2-3 months, actually, is what I'm hearing. Because maybe it wasn't the time for it, place, energetically, blah, 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 blah. That may be coming back to the forefront for you to implement, for you to act upon, okay, potentially. So let's see about that. Ooh, Ten of Swords. So we're closing out the Ten of Swords energies, closing that out, because, endings and beginnings, right? What are we going to be focusing on? You might be hyperventilating here and there, is what I'm hearing. Maybe your thoughts are really sort of just in that hamster wheel of like insanity, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe there's a part of you that's like, am I in denial or something like that? Like, I trust the universe, I trust my path, I'm showing up as I can, but I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. That all is going to be coming to an end, right? We're affirming that right here and now. We're affirming that. So go ahead and claim that and be like, I'm closing out and I'm releasing those cycles of insanity. I will have clarity. I am clear. Even if I don't know what that clarity is just yet. You're not seeing it yet. Don't deny any nervousness that might be coming up. Address it, because now is the time for it. Now is the time to put it to rest. Now is the time to bring it to the forefront and recognize it. Recognize where you might be oversaturated with information, to-do lists, but not having actually executed anything, right? And I'm not saying that you haven't executed anything at all, but it's like we jot down all of these ideas and all of these possibilities and all of these things, and it may not have been, again, the time to initiate certain things, and maybe now it is. Or at least to start to move in that direction, right? So Spirit, what is the closing guidance here? Where is this all taking us, all leading us? Look at that, King of Swords. So the closing guidance, take control of your mind, your mental energy. Take control of if and where you have just too many things to do, and maybe you haven't made a list. Make a list. If you've made the list, start to tackle it. Maybe it doesn't have to be in exact perfection of order, right? But we're getting it done to the best of our ability here. So the King of Swords is honoring the status quo, not making, make adjustments only where it absolutely is necessary and makes sense. But right now we want to focus on just, again, getting organized. We want to focus on making decisions from a place of experience, of discipline, and responsibility. Okay? So no matter what may seem to be happening in the mind, in the mental, where it could be chaotic, could be confusion, it could be a lot of back and forth, it could be a lot of avoidance of things. You may feel like, I'm not really motivated to do this or that, but you're driving yourself crazy because there's all these things that you could, would, should be doing instead, right? Of just kind of doing other things. That's where the King of Swords is saying we need to prioritize. Let's set some goals for ourselves. And we don't need to set these big, major life goals. It's just the goal, like day to day. Get a handle on things. If looking at your week ahead is too much, just focus on today. If the whole day is too much, focus on one phase of the day, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, whatever. Okay? Take it hour by hour if you need to. 10 minutes by 10, whatever it is. Okay? But take control. Do not let any negative self-talk, negative self-dialogue, or whatever it is, even if it's not negative at all, it's just totally distractions and preferring to be somewhere else, do something else. taking control of your breath and breathing, not just the mind, but breathe. Okay? Breathe. And so what is this message with the King of Swords? What is the outcome with the King of Swords in activating that King of Swords energy and being self-disciplined? King of Cups. All right. So that will allow you to overcome any emotional obstacles or challenges. When I say emotional, it's like sometimes our thoughts do get the better of us, but that affects us on an emotional level, right? Because we get overwhelmed and we have heart palpitations, maybe even, and we just kind of psych ourselves out. We're like, no, I don't know. So the King of Cups, the King of Swords is all about grasping onto that self-confidence, taking control of your mind and your heart. Okay, the flow. You control the flow. The flow does not control you. All right. That's what the transformation that's happening is in gaining that grip, okay, on your reality and the breath and the flow of things. Well, breath flows, right? And so the King of Cups also, when I see the King of Cups, I am reminded of, you know, sometimes we need to compartmentalize how we're feeling, because like I said way earlier, that inner child mindset, I just saw 2112 on the timer. So for those of you who like to look up the angel numbers, check out angel number 2112 and see what that means for you. Maybe drop it in the comments for us. There's something here with the King of Cups. Oh, okay, hold on, I'm getting a little bit of a shift in the message here. Yeah, overcoming fears and doubts and just getting the job done, overcoming yourself, even if it's like indifference and it has nothing to do with fears and doubts. Sometimes we're not present to our fears and doubts. We kind of glaze them over because it's just too much, and it becomes complacency, or it becomes, just whatever excuse you want to create, or that comes through, right? Again, this is about overcoming any of that and just going with the flow, leading from the heart. As I said earlier, we're leading from the heart by first allowing for ourselves to listen to our hearts, okay? Sometimes when we see two kings together, it can be about meetings, significant meetings, whether it's, the meeting of your own heart and mind merging in some way, okay? It can be about a person coming through, potentially having a significant discussion. So there's air energy here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and water energy. We saw that Scorpio earlier, so Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, okay, as potential signs or energies that could be influencing the circumstances. So we're not here to just be all air, of course, which is like no feeling, right? And to be fair, the King of Swords does not lack in feeling. He just knows how to prioritize and compartmentalize accordingly. And that's where, again, with even this King of Cups, doesn't let emotions rule this being, but leads from the heart nonetheless, and has that ability to compartmentalize and overcome any self-doubt, or, you know what I mean? Just trust that I'm going to listen to my gut and go after what I want, as well as be smart about it. Like that kind of a vibe. So if you're still with me here, there will be a part 2 to this reading. We're going to dive deeper into the messages, gaining some deeper insights, of course. I'm going to draw from my animal spirit guides cards here, and get our animal spirit guide for the moment. In part 2, we're going to read from the book. Sorry for everybody who already knows this drill, but I just got to bring it up for those who don't. Angel answers, yes, no answers in part 2. If you have a question that you'd like to ask the angels, that's what we're going to do in part 2 as well. And as well as the romance angels. And I always say this for the romance angels, it doesn't need to be about romance. It can just be whatever brings you fulfillment, brings you joy, that you're passionate about. So we're going to be looking into that in our part 2 as well. If you're interested in the part 2, you can find that at kapualani.com/extensions. I'll make sure to leave the link in the comments below, or you can find it in the description box below as well. All right, so here we go. Spirit, animal spirit guides. Who is our animal spirit? Oop, already. We've got two of them. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Oh, this is sweet. Mouse and bat. Bat is basically a winged mouse. So, hey, details, details, details. I don't know why I got that. And there's something about being receptive, listening. Be a receptive listener. Okay? Don't drive yourself crazy over the details. Rise above. I feel an energy of like both of these creatures. Technically, the mouse isn't exactly only nocturnal, but I get more of a nocturnal vibe with these, obviously, especially the bat. So there could be something about just gut instincts and listening to the feminine aspect of yourself while also obviously implementing that masculine. Um, there's something here about listening. There's something with sound. There's something with minding the details, but not being too, again, too preoccupied about it. There's something also here. Let me tune in. Your own sensitive nature, being inquisitive, overcoming certain obstacles that at times can seem so much bigger than you, knowing and trusting that there is a divine time for you. The timing is divine. You will have your time to shine. Anything else, Spirit? You are safe. I mean, this sounds really silly and basic. Sorry, guys, but I'm like, you're safe to spread your wings and fly. You will have divine protection. Like for some reason, I'm just thinking about that bat. Like you have the cover of night. So there's something here about exploring your intuition, not just your intuition. Put your intuition to use. Don't just pick up on things, but be open to seeking it out, to searching it, that kind of thing. All right. So I'm going to close up here and shift gears to go into part two. Again, kapualani.com/extensions. Or if you would like to, schedule a session of your own, I offer live sessions and pre-recorded at kapualani.com. If you're interested in any of these decks, all of the decks that I use, you can find in my Amazon storefront in the links. I believe it's in my profile, if not the description box below. But thank you so much for being here. See you in part two or next time.